What's going on, guys? It's Caleb here with another video from Wizards of Boone's Cave, bringing you guys a Mothman deck I put together. I know Mothman's an older commander, but with the popularity of the Fallout series and Mothman getting this new printing, I figured it would be a good time to revisit and put this thing together. It's one of the decks I've been wanting to put together for quite a while, and figured this would be a great opportunity to come back and throw it all together now. So yeah, a little bit of deck overview. I put this thing together as a bracket three, um, and our strategy is basically going to be a mix of milling our opponents, doing some recursion if need be, and also too Mothman with us constantly having people mill stuff out. Mothman's going to be a pretty big threat, so just another way we can possibly win there. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get into some of the synergies. So just as a refresher of Mothman itself, it's a flying 3/3 creature, and when the wise Mothman enters or attacks, each player gets a rad counter. A rad counter is basically at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you'll mill a card. If it's a land card, you'll keep your rad counter, and if it's a non-land, you'll lose one life and then lose your rad counter. And then the second half of Mothman says when one or more non-land cards are milled, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to X target creatures, where X is the number of non-land cards milled that way. So again, we're looking to grow creatures. We're looking to give our opponents rad counters, have them mill stuff out, and things like that. So Mothman's got three main things going on with him here. We're looking for adding rad counters, milling cards, and putting +1/+1 counters on creatures. So getting into the first bit of Mothman's piece here would be the rad counters. So as you can see, we've got a little bit of a rad counter package, where we've got things like the glowing one, to gain us some life. When we're milling ourselves, we're going to be losing life, so this gets it back. Also applies more rad counters. A Nightkin Ambusher, if we're building up our creatures, he's basically unblockable throughout the whole game. Our opponents are always going to have rad counters. Scorch Beast just to apply more rads. Tato Farmer just to give us lands back if we need for some recursion. And then we also have some proliferation here as well. But specifically here with rad counters, it also can proliferate other things that they already have rad counters, but just some things we can look at. Our next piece here is our +1/+1 counters. We've got things like Agatha's Soul Cauldron, some things that'll add some 1/1 counters or give us some or additional pieces there. Cathedral Acolyte's a really big piece here. It gives us Ward 1 for anything that has creatures, so just extra protection there. We also have just other various ways their +1/+1 counters matters kind of thing. Feral Ghoul here, we're building up creatures. Again, if we have a way to sacrifice or let this guy die, we're giving rad counters to all of our opponents depending on how big he is. And the goal here is to get him as big as possible. Um, Again, just more 1/1 counter synergy. Ways to make our creatures unblockable. Mothman already has flying and 8, but other creatures may not, so that's good. And then if they want to remove our creatures and we have Genova on the field, that's just going to give us a ton of card draw. Mainly on our turn, but if we're swinging in lethal with Mothman and they want to remove Mothman, that's cool. We're going to draw 20 cards with Mothman dying, and just get a ton of stuff like that. Again, Power Fist is another big piece here. We're just adding more 1/1 counters to Mothman or wherever we attach this to, just giving us more power on the board. And then Terra Symbiosis is a great card draw engine here. Um, just allows us to draw a lot of cards when we're putting 1/1 counters. We do this once each turn as well. So every time we're adding 1/1 counters to our creatures, we can draw a bunch of cards on our opponent's turns as well, just finding our pieces faster. Wave Goodbye is an awesome, like one-sided board wipe essentially. We're adding 1/1 counters to our creatures. Hopefully they don't have any counters on theirs, and then we can go in and just swing out on a free board. Our next piece here is our mill synergy. So of course we're milling a lot of stuff with rad counters, and so we want to find different ways that we can try to work on milling our opponents out. So we've got things like Altar of Dementia, or Mothman Egg, which is Miracle Orb, Mind Crank, um, Palantir, which just awesome ways to mill things out, milling ourselves, milling our opponents. We've also got things like Bruvac, where we're just getting additional mills. Blood Chief's Ascension also as well. And then the Water Crystal, another great way to mill cards. You know, just extra mill there. We're milling 4 instead of 1 on rad counters. So that's just an awesome include here in this deck. Um, things also too. There's a few combo pieces in here as well. Um, Especially with ways we can double mills. We have ways we basically can mill our opponents out, um, which is just a way we can just win on the spot. Uh, that's not really the main goal of the deck, but just wanted to include that in. If you're not cool with those quick wins like that, those are obviously things you can take out. Um, but did want to go ahead and mention that there were a couple of combos built into the deck with things like that. Dust Mantle Guildmage also can combo off a little bit as well. So just a few different things that you can combo with. But again, the goal of this deck is not necessarily to combo. It's more so we're looking to make big creatures, mill our opponents, and then as we'll get into here in a moment, hopefully steal some stuff from people whenever they go to mill. So yeah, all in all, looking for some mill synergy, but um, we did include a couple combos into the list as well, if that's something that you wanted to go down. Next, we're going to go over the essential pieces of pretty much any deck: our card draw, our interaction, our ramp. For card draw, we've got a lot of creatures: the Guardian Project, Polywog Prodigy, Rhystic Study, Notion Thief. This card can be kind of mean, so of course something you can take out, but just wanted to add this in just in case. Something I'll probably plan on running because I know my pod just runs a lot of card draws, so just an idea I wanted to throw in there. Orcish Bowmasters, if our opponents are going to draw and we don't have Notion Thief on the board, just a great way to ping some stuff down if we need to. Also, too, with the 1/1 counter synergy, we're amassing orcs. We can make that orc army pretty big, pretty quickly. Also, too, with some of our 1/1 counter doublers, we're just going to make a really big orc army really fast. Mirelurk Queen, another really cool option here, as whenever we're milling opponents. Just great ways here to essentially just draw cards on our opponent's turn and continuously build up our hand and refill after we do things. Interaction, got some removal, got some counter spells, got some protection. Just run of the mill, just wanting to cover all of our bases there. And then with our ramp, we've got our arcane signet, our soul rings, our talismans here. We've got a couple of pieces of 2 mana land ramp, and then a dark ritual as well. And then our final piece here is going to be our proliferation counter synergy, and then our recursion pieces. So proliferation and counter synergy, we've got things like Vraska, Vorinclex, Thrumming Bird, and Tekethal. Just additional ways for us to proliferate since we're putting counters on a lot of things and a lot of players. Just different ways we can do that there. Thrumming Bird is like our Vexing Radgall, but it's just more specific to just proliferating. Um, Vorinclex, obviously, a really good piece here. And then, with that basically doubling all of our counters, just an awesome thing to do here. Also, too, if we have Vorinclex on the board, we drop a Vraska. It'll immediately double to 12 on the um, loyalty counters, and then we can immediately minus that, give all our opponents 9 poison counters or however many we need, and then basically just give them 10 because it would double that as well. So a little win piece there, later game win, but still could be a nice little way to shut that down if necessary. So all in all, a really cool interaction there, and just two pieces I thought would be really awesome to put in place as well. And then finally, we have our recursion. We're going to be milling our stuff quite a bit. So Crucible Worlds just gives us a chance to get our lands back. Muldrotha, obviously, with us putting all kinds of stuff in the graveyard, this basically gives us a chance to play pretty much anything and everything from the graveyard. Rao, the Master, some good Fallout cards there to include. We've got to reanimate. If we happen to mill one of our big threats like a Muldrotha, we can always throw it back with a reanimate. More land recursion in case we mill out all of our lands and we can't get a land drop in our hand. And then a nice little game ender here in Rise of the Dark Realms. So, if we wanted to go in and uh, dunk on everybody at the end of the game, we've got all their creatures in the graveyard. Right there we go. We can go ahead and come out with a win. And yeah, but all in all, that's our recursion. That's our proliferation and some stuff we've got going on there. Yeah, guys, so that's our Mothman deck. I tried to move a little bit faster on this one than I did with my Reaper King deck list and deck tech. I know that was a little bit longer, so I wanted to kind of go over the top level stuff. I'll be sure to share this deck list in the description. But yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to see, I'm working on a ghoul deck list now. I'm going to try to put out with you guys here in a couple days. That is a combo kind of heavy deck, but I think that's going to be a lot of fun to play as well. With the I'm a big Fallout fan, and with this Fallout series kind of taking off, I wanted to highlight some of these Fallout cards, some of the Fallout stuff that's been put in place, and even though some of it's a little older, we've got a lot of really good synergy with Mill and with stuff like that in these last couple sets. And so just wanted to kind of preview that, show that off. And but yeah, let me know what you guys think. If there's any other deck techs you guys would like to see, upcoming sets, older cards, feel free. Take a look at our Moxfield deck list. If there's anything you would like to see specifically from that, we'll be sure to share that as well. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and catch you guys on the next one.